Good morning, guys. So this is Alejandro today with Boost Hair Studio, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a video of me doing a bald fade on my good client Tony. He's been a client of mine for about 7-8 years now, really long time. But as you watch, I'm going to be commentating this whole video. And for those that don't know me, my name is Alejandro. I am owner of Boost Hair Studio. I've been cutting hair since 2010, so that's about 11 years now. And I'm currently cutting in my garage, I built a hair studio in my garage. But prior to that, I cut professionally at a barbershop for 8 years. If you guys want to check out my barber studio, I do have videos on my channel of actually the whole process of how, it was built. But as you see in the video, I'm using the Babyliss trimmers to bald out my guy Tony here. And I like to be very thorough, and you always want to have a nice foundation before you start the fade. So take your time, guys, and I cannot stress that enough. That's one thing that I wish I knew sooner, is take your time, because if you kind of rush through a haircut, sometimes you would tend to forget some hair. I'm gonna start dropping more content for you guys. I just got a new camera set up so I can film during the week. And before that, I was only filming, once a week on Sundays. But now it's more convenient for me to, film. So make sure to subscribe. And if you guys want to check out more of my work, check out my Instagram. Same as my YouTube channel, Boost Hair Studio. And there you can see pictures that I upload on a regular basis. And if you guys see something you like, I'd be more than happy to film it. I am a huge fan of Babyliss. I used to use Masters a lot, but I don't know, recently I just wanted to switch to cordless clippers. And I did try the cordless Masters, but I honestly just wasn't a big fan. I believe I had them for about 2 weeks, and they just kind of, stopped cutting. They were pulling a lot of my clients, and me, I cut a lot of Hispanic people, so you know how that goes. I have really thick hair, and they just weren't working. So I switched to Babyliss. I love them, and you're gonna see that through this video. I am a fan of the Babyliss clippers, the trimmers, and you're gonna see me use detachable clippers. And also, I use guards as well. Like, I don't pick a side. Me as a barber, or let me put it this way, me as an artist, somebody who loves their craft, I'm always looking for different ways, different techniques. If I see a person do it a certain way, I'm gonna want to try it. I try to stay open-minded, and I don't know, always try to, find little ways I can better myself, and so on and so forth. I'm always learning as a person, and that's one advice I give to a lot of beginners is always learn. Never become closed-minded, or just always be open to new ideas, new techniques, and new ways of just cutting hair. And I believe that's a key to success, to become a successful barber in this industry. And besides from cutting hair, you also want to always look for different ways to market yourself as a barber. And as a beginner, sometimes barbershops, they will advertise you, but if you really want to grow, you need to do all the work, most of the work, but I'd say you need to do 99% of the work. And there's different ways to do that. And one thing that really helped me is, if you're not already on on an app where people can book on you and find you, get on it ASAP. And I currently use an app called The Cut. And on there, when you make a profile, there's people, when clients, or let's say just a general public, downloads the app, they can get on there, they can find you. And this is, again, a great way to get more people. But get on there, post all your best work, and I guarantee you're going to be bringing in a lot of clientele through that. But other than that, invest in a great camera. Or, today, if you even have the latest iPhone, I like to use the iPhone 12 that I currently have. And Again, just make sure your pictures are quality. In today's world, everything is on social media, or everything's through the internet, and you gotta keep up with the times. And I honestly truly believe that you need to post quality work. But stay consistent with that too. Try to upload something at least once a day. And when I say that, you do not have to post a picture a day. Sometimes it can get annoying for some people. But, let's say if you don't have any content to post that day, just post a quick clip on your story, showing you doing like a quick haircut. But you always want to keep people tuned in, stay relevant, and just stay active in your social media so people can feel more closer to you, or they'll start feeling like they're building this relationship with this person. But eventually you're gonna grow their interest, and they're just gonna be very excited to come to you. And on top of that, they might spread the word like, oh, go follow this barber, he posts all this great work. And but the point I'm trying to make here is just get out there and post your work. But anyways, let's get back to the video. As you can see here, if you were watching, I started off with the Babyliss Pro wide open, and I made about an inch and a half section of with the Babyliss Pro open. And then after that, I like to go all the way closed, and just to get rid of like that guideline, get that off real quick. And then after I did the closed Babyliss, I like to go back and forth on the notches, staying in the half and then the quarter realm. But as you can see, my client does have a skin tech, so that area there was a little bit difficult to cut, honestly. Honestly, just try your best not to, whack that thing off if your client has any, because you're gonna get blood everywhere, man. And sometimes you can put a lot of septic powder, but it's just gonna look bad. So just be very careful. If your clients have any scabs, any skin tech, stuff like that, you don't want to chop any of that shit off, man. But yeah, look at me. I'm using the corner. And that's a big tip that I learned throughout my years, is that sometimes, when you try to load up the hair with the full blade, sometimes it'll just, long story short, it's really hard to explain, but it's more efficient if you just use the corner of the blade. Try it out, and, trust me, guys, trust me. So I like to part the hair. Whenever you're doing a haircut where the hair is parted, you always want to section it. Use some alligator clips, as you see right there that I've used. And now I'm fading this bottom section with a 1.5 blade using my Andis Supra ZRs is what they're called. Super great clippers. I had these for years, and this is my second pair. My first pair lasted about 4 years. So if you're looking for detachable clippers, these are pretty pricey, but honestly, they're worth it. Awesome clippers. If you never use detachable clippers, I highly recommend it. And especially if you're a barber that, cuts super fast, you need clippers that, that can keep up with you, man. And sometimes blade don't do the work, or not the blades, I'm sorry, guards. Sometimes guards just, they'll leave streaks, or they'll pull hair if you just go too fast, especially on thick hair. But, if you never use detachables, go ahead and use them. Back to the video. Right now I'm using the 1A blade, which is equivalent to a 1 guard. And I'm just going to be working that, line out, just massage it out. Take your time. Going on to the right side here. And as you can see, the fade is coming in together. Little by little, guys. And now I switched back to my 1.5 because sometimes I work half the head and I go back and forth. But again, take your time, go very slowly. Make sure to comb or brush the hair after, every few strokes. Just so you can see what, the work you've done. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to kind of be winging it. And once you brush it, you're going to see all the little mistakes you've made. But go ahead and do that. Take your time, brush, cut, all that good stuff. And right now I'm currently using the 1 blade, which is, if you use detachable blades, the 1 blade is a great tool to use to fade in, the work I've did with the Babyliss Pro or any fader clipper. But the one is great to fade out that guy line, into the 1A, if that makes any sense. If I don't make any sense, just drop a comment. Let me know. And then I'm switching to the one guard on my Babyliss clippers. And this, a big reason why I like using guards is that obviously you can cut, through different increments, smaller increments. Sometimes with blades, it just doesn't do the work, but it really depends on the client sometimes. Some hairstyles like work better with, with blades, some detachable. And as you see, my client has very fine hair. So I feel like sometimes, or let me give you this advice with fine hair. It's very easy. If you make one tiny mistake, it's gonna just be more noticeable than you would on thick hair. So anyways, yeah, just figure out what works best for you. And back to the videos you saw, I used the razor to help fade the hair, which again it's really great tool to use on fine hair, so you can be more precise. And right now I'm using the 1.5 guard, and just taking my time, guys, because again, fine hair is just so easy to mess up. So take your time, do it nice and slow. Make sure you're always flicking at a 45-degree angle, and just little by little, just flick that out. I recently became a big fan of using gloves. I don't know if any guys use gloves, but God, I just got tired of getting hair splinters, man. And that shit, sometimes it gets painful or just really annoying, And I think I had one incident where, I had this splinter on my finger and it just got infected. So it just looked like one big old zit. But honestly, gloves are the way to go. I love them. I've recently had someone reach out to me and this person was asking me or telling me, how he's been cutting hair for a couple of years and he's just like, man, he just can't get his face down, and he's been trying all these different techniques and it's like none of them work for him. But there lies a mistake where this person was doing all these different techniques, and sometimes you really just have to stick with one technique. Find a guy on YouTube that you like and just learn off of him. You want to find one technique and master that technique. Because a lot of times, I feel like every barber has their own way of cutting hair. And if you're always like flip-flopping, from teachers or learners or whatever, it's just you're never really going to master one. So just with anything in life, like just pick one thing, put all your focus in it and master it. And I guarantee you, your face are going to progress a lot faster. So that's another advice that I have for a lot of beginners, or just anyone who's been struggling and has been frustrated with, with why am my face not turning out that great? But, try that out. And here in the video, you see me spraying the hair with some water, combing it, and make sure it's thoroughly wet. And I'm going to start, he just wanted a very light trim. So, I'm going to go through it and trim it really fast. I like to use 7-inch scissors, this is something I recently started doing. And as you can see, I don't know the exact, terminology, but the blades do have they're a bit wider, in the middle. So they have more weight. So I just feel like I don't have to use as much pressure to cut hair. Because previously to that, I used to use smaller shears. I believe I used a 5.5 inch. And I don't know, this 7 inches was a life changer for me. And, back to the video, just take your time. Sometimes with shorter hair, you have to, use smaller sections so you can make sure it's all even. Normally I would use a thinner comb, but that's what I had in hand. Now we're going to blow dry. Another big tip, if you guys don't have a blow dryer, get one ASAP, because it's about, what I was saying earlier about how you brush your hair so you can see your work. So obviously your client is not gonna have their haircut wet at all times. They're gonna be rocking it dry, obviously. So dry it out and see how it's gonna look for them. See how it's gonna look when it's, finished in their daily life. Now you see me using the Babyliss trimmers, and I'm gonna do a quick lineup, getting it ready, setting my guide up so when I use the straight razor. And there we go, now we use a straight razor. And very lightly, he doesn't like to be pushed back, so it's just going to be a very subtle, lineup. And again, being very careful because he does have some light spots, as you guys can tell. Just doing a quick cleanup, brush that hair off. If you guys enjoyed this video, honestly, I really appreciate you guys watching. Like the video, it helps out a lot. It lets me know that you guys like my content, and I will continue to create more. So here's the final product. Quick spin around. That's the fade. Beautiful. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. And again, like the video, subscribe if you can. It really helps out a lot. That'll motivate me to do more content for you guys. And I do have plans in the future to drop some products, so stay tuned.